This is The Truth. I'm GM Calethris. You're Vince Nardone. I saw you taking notes that we're going to discuss Flag. For anyone who's actually watching, which is no one right now, except Audrey. Happy birthday, Audrey. Kevin White, if you've still stuck around, thank you. Talk Flag. That's what we're going to do.
That's my note.
How you doing, Vince?
I'm doing great. Feeling better than last week, obviously. Not so sick anymore. Both my teams won this weekend, which is a positive note.
He says both, but he plays on 3 teams.
Yeah, fine. The team that I had to quarterback for in Division 3, I feel like I am like this huge weight you have to carry around. I don't consider myself part of a team that I have to drag into the ocean.
Oof. On that note, we'll talk about games that were both forgettable and memorable. Terror Squad 21, Montreal's Finest 34. Terror Squad had a chance to take a lead and commandeer this game and fell a little bit short. Tam Villadeth 3 TDs, 1 interception. Kevin 5-0. Since you were there and you saw this game, you're allowed to comment on it. You want to take it?
Absolutely. This was actually a really, really good game. Terror Squad's defense stepped up and was able to make a stop on downs against Montreal's Finest, which is rare. I guess we should say that Kev was extremely sick for this game, as he was for his ONS game. I could tell. I didn't know until he told me he was pacing up and down the sideline. I'm like, Kev, what are you doing? Are you thinking about something? He's looking at me because he was putting his shirt over his mouth. He's like, I'm just trying to like focus, and he was basically trying to get inside his own mind and tell himself that he wasn't sick so that he can perform. Either way, Terror Squad was able to stop that offense and gave themselves a shot to stick around long enough to be in the game. And at one point, they had a chance to go up, and they just couldn't connect. They couldn't get a first down. He missed his snap. Slipped my mind now.
JC
Marcil. He missed him on a deep post or a deep seam that ended up going a little bit off to the right. He missed him out of bounds. He had his chance, and he just wasn't able to capitalize.
Before we move on, discussing this game a little bit more, we have a tweet-in question from Ryan Aridi. Which Gatorade is better, G1 or G2, and why? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll answer.
Oh, this is funny because last week we had this discussion. I personally didn't know that G2 was the healthy Gatorade.
It's not healthy. It's just they have aspartame in it instead of sugar.
They're a lot less sugar. So it's just a lot less sugar.
Yeah, but you're substituting for a carcinogen, basically.
Okay, whatever you just said. I did not know that G2 was a healthier G1. All I knew is that G1 is much better tasting than G2. So I'm a G1 kind of guy. And Aridi being our like Gatorade sponsor, every game
I was about to say, if you play on DK, it's whatever Ryan Aridi brings to the field.
And you can't really complain, but we do complain. Me and Liam are G1 guys, and there's a specific color that Liam will drink, and I don't know what it is. Whatever. I'm a G1 all the way.
I'm a big fan of the Glacier Cherry G1. Very, very tasty. I prefer the flavors of G1 to G2.
100%.
But when you play on DK, beggars can't be choosers, and you're already taken care of.
Well,
so
now he brings gummy worms. He's all over. He's bringing water. He keeps us hydrated.
Well, the main question, does Jacques Void get his chocolate milk?
Jacques Void just steals the candy. He doesn't ask. He just takes, and then he pretends like it's his candy. That's what he does.
We're going a little bit off the rails here. Flag Molissac Express in a game. Talk Flag. Thank you. That's an important note to keep. Flag Molissac Express. Alex Neto-Putes, 15 for 28, 3 touchdowns. Had rushing touchdowns as well. Very depleted roster for Flag Molissac. They only played with 6. A lot of their defenders were playing receiver position as well. William Fontaine was on offense. Tim Morin-Gauthier played offense as well. With this depleted roster and having manhandled Express, are Flag Molissac on the right track?
Absolutely. I feel like Alex Neto-Putes and Flag Molissac, like the U of M guys, are finding their ways in flag. They're getting more and more comfortable, and they're becoming a powerhouse in flag football. Alex Neto-Putes is finding ways to win games without having to throw the ball. He ran for over 70 yards.
Yeah, he ran for 2 touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's football IQ. That's you understanding what you have and making the best of it. I got to use my legs, so use your legs. The fact that he's playing receiver in DB in Division 2 for Gladiator has like brought this whole new understanding. He just understands flag football, and now it's just up from this point forward. And for the Express losing this game, is not a good look. They need to start finding ways to get these W's, because at the end of the day, Demons got their win, and 2 wins are gonna right now is playoffs. So
as amazing as that sounds,
whatever it is, it works. As long as you get in and you get that shot, you gotta put yourself in a position of success. And Express is not doing that.
You said it yourself. Every game, you need to step up, and they're not doing it right now, despite the fact that they had the numbers on them. It was interesting to see the committee of rushers. Eventually, it went to Nick Arsenault-Hum as rusher, who did have a really good job. He did really great job. 4 sacks on Alex Nedo-Cutes.
Yeah, he's my freak of the week.
With good reason.
Of course.
Solid 2A player. But in the end, Flegmont-Sac leaned a little bit on Guillaume Robert. He was definitely the go-to receiver, someone who doesn't get a lot of press in this league, but is a very solid player, and was able to put the team on his back. Division 2, I would say one of the bigger upsets of the week, but an interesting one to watch. TMT over Châteauloins. Have we not been giving TMT enough press here? They're a team that's mostly Vanier College players. They have sort of a musical chairs type going on at the quarterback position. Jamie Harry took over, 3 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Very interesting game.
That's the main point there, is that they don't even have their quarterback. They're finding ways to win game without their star quarterback. These guys are getting all the press that they can get. I give them a lot of hype in my articles. I talk about them a lot because I've seen them play a lot. They are a really good bunch of guys. I mean, they are changing receiver to quarterback to snap to wide receiver, and they are all extremely athletic.
No disrespect, but if they understood FPF and Flag,
but they'd be
a 1 seed.
First season in Flag. Give them time. Give these guys. I don't know if they're going to be playing in the summer because they do play tackle football. If they come back next winter with the same group of guys and maybe they make adjustments because now they know what they need for flag football, these guys are going to be extremely good in the future.
I'm a big fan as well. Seeing here, Ryan Bondi, they had the possession. They marched up the field. It came down to an interception by Derek Obas to seal the game with 4 plays left.
And you have Mate Awesome with the pick 6. I mean, they did what they could. It wasn't enough. TMT needed it more, and they went and got it. Now TMT's in a position where they get the win this week against ONS, and they got 6th seed.
ONS team with a big question mark over due to the injury of Kevin Wyeth. Sources say there is the possibility of Rashdi Ben Abdelkader filling in as quarterback for ONS. Not yet confirmed, but definitely food for thought. Before we go to that, our last game of the week that we're going to discuss, Les Messieurs Legends. You were there. You can talk about it.
I mean, the score doesn't really define what the game was. Legends was up for the most of the game. They had situations where they could have gone for 2 to be up 2 scores, but they didn't. It was a good game overall. Chantomo rushing. It's not their usual rusher, but even their usual rusher is not that good. But Chantomo is he's out of his element when he's rushing. He over and over again would miss Corey on a sack, and then he would, or just Corey's elusiveness, ability to make the rusher miss. What are you pointing at?
Interesting enough, Jacques Void played in this game, I guess because he's not at full health. Void, in my opinion, would have been the perfect candidate to rush against Corey Pecker, but it didn't end up happening.
It's a good idea, but I locked him down. Only had 33 yards. No, this was a good game. Ryan Leonowski has missed a game this season, and he's still up there with the best receivers in Division 2. We'll talk about it later. Mm-hmm. It was a good game. Sebastien Deschamps had a good game. He's not the guy that's usually stand out on offense. Usually it's Chantomo to Chantomo, or you got Patrick Jerome.
He is absolutely a perfectly capable receiver. Very high football IQ. There's a reason he's rated over 90 on defense. He's a very solid player.
Yes, CIS player from Concordia.
Yeah, absolutely.
The bulk of his yards were yak yards from a hook that he caught, and then nobody could tackle him. Just the hip movement, like a Paul Lapierre, Rajdi kind of thing.
He's a bigger guy too. He's solidly built, and he still has that speed.
Yeah, no, this was a good game. A game that Les Messieurs needed to win, and now unfortunately are on the outside looking in, and their future looks really dim.
So we're going to go on to my favorite topic of the week, because I don't have to do any prep work. Everything's on your shoulders. You have to ask me the questions, and seeing them for the first time, more or less, I figured you'd want to touch on a few things, so I have some notes, but I don't even know.
No notes.
I will let you take over.
You don't get notes.
No notes, okay.
So for the first section, it's going to be a question with a Q&A. Just give me an answer.
Sure.
So to get it going, first question: who would you give quarterback award of the year to Division 2?
It's got to be Frank LeBeau right now. He's putting up points when it matters. Despite we've mentioned they have a little bit of lacking roster depth, he's still managing to make it work right now. I believe he's leading in touchdowns right now. If we can bring up LeBeau's stats, if you have a moment to do
He's
it.
leading as of the Division 2 quarterback that doesn't play Division 1, because you got
Correct,
Wyeth
yes.
up there, you got Chenard up there, you got Marco up there.
If I remember offhand before it even gets brought up there, I think he's in the mid-range 40s for touchdowns.
He's number 1 for any Division 2 quarterback that doesn't throw in Division 1.
Yeah. QB rating 119.4, 45 touchdowns, 3 INTs. Higher completion ratio. The only one who's surprisingly close but doesn't have the touchdowns is Jordan Panetta at 122.
You got Corey Pecker.
Corey
also
Pecker
with a
as
really
well.
good
Yeah,
season.
115. So yeah, right
So
now.
you go with LeBeau?
I would go with LeBeau contingent on those last
Okay.
few games.
Moving on. Question number 2. Let's just say you're drafting an all-star team.
Yeah.
Let's say you're drafting an all-star team for Flag Plus. You have access to any player in the league.
Are they playing 2 ways or 1 way?
Whatever you wish. It's
Sure.
your team. Your GM. Who would your first 3 picks be and why?
He is GM, by the way.
He is GM, by the way.
So
George Michaels.
you definitely, thank you for those 2 people who don't know. You want standout 2-way players right now. When you said you're at drafting an all-star team, first player whose name popped into my head would be Nick Arsenault. We saw here, you can put him anywhere. He played rusher and came out with 4 sacks. Freak athlete on defense, solid receiver. Right there, I would pick Arsenault. If you're making an all-star team, you want the best. So there's no doubt in my mind I wouldn't want Kevin Wyeth throwing. And I still owe you one other player.
One more.
I think adding some size on that team to go with the receivership. I'd like to see another season of Kevin Wyeth throwing to Paul Lapierre. That would be an interesting.
So your first 3 picks would be Kevin Wyeth, Nicholas Arsenault, and Paul Lapierre?
Yep.
All right. That's respectable.
Do you have any prepped for you or?
This is your question.
Okay, that's no
this
problem.
is your question.
If I'm building an all-star team, yeah, without a doubt.
If you're okay, that's your all-star team. That's your top 3. Okay. Who would be your 4th?
Looking at it's
You
gotta
wouldn't
be
even go
Akinmore.
for rusher. You're
There's-
not even going for any defensive.
Not necessarily
No?
right
Alright.
now. I would say Akinmore without a doubt. I would gladly take on any team.
Okay. Okay. Question number 3. Let's say you're going on a 15K canoe ride. Who do you want sitting in front of you in that canoe?
I think because I'm very lazy, I would like to do the least amount of work as possible. I would go with Nathan Taylor. Nathan Taylor has biceps to spare. He would probably be able to do the rowing for both of us.
That is a great pick. I didn't even think of Nathan. I thought you were gonna go like Blevings or some next or like Kennedy. Somebody.
Somebody big who will do the work for me.
All right, cool. And Nate, you can chat him up. He'll chat you back. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great pick. I didn't even think of Nate. Earlier in the season, we both agreed that the crossover rule for Division 1 wasn't going to be happening. It wouldn't affect anybody. Do you still feel the same?
Bringing up right now, I think that everything is pretty much set in stone, especially with the Demons getting that win.
Okay. So no.
No,
Everything's
I don't
still the
think
same.
so.
Okay.
Everything will stay.
Division 2 Conference B. We already know who's in and who's out. Everybody's already clinched. 1 to 6 is clinched, and everybody that's not in 6 is out automatically already. Entertain us all and tell me now who is in for Division A and who is out for Conference A.
Well, right now, Cold Fusion and Clockwork are mathematically locked in.
Yeah.
So that's no problem.
Lock
at all.
me everybody else.
I see Wolverines making it. Right now, they're in the 3 seed. They have potential to drop, but still be in. Les Monsieur Chat and Usual Suspects are not going to make it. I'm sorry. TMT. This one really, really intrigues me because I could see them jumping over ONS, especially if ONS are going in without Kevin Wyeth.
They're playing this week.
So I think the winner of that game will take it.
All right. Who would you give 2A Player of the Year in Division 2?
Adam Bailey. Adam Bailey right now has 15 touchdowns on offense. Ton of passes defended, ton of tackles, great.
He's
short
just
zone
missing
receiver.
those interceptions because
Yeah.
he's leading in tackles in Division 2, but he doesn't have the interceptions. We all know that he should and can get those interceptions, but he doesn't have them. Although he's surrounded by a bunch of freaks like Nathan Garrett and Chris Robertson.
Yeah.
I mean, but he hasn't gotten those interceptions. I don't know that he merits a defensive award or a two-way award because he doesn't have the INTs. We'll see.
I think with the amount of I know a lot of people downplay the importance of tackles, but
knowing and seeing him play,
yeah,
I mean,
he's able to cross the field and get that tackle. He's got the speed. It's not just he's being picked on.
Those are not tackles because the receiver's catching balls in front
exactly, of him. Yes. And I think that's where the difference lies.
Okay. Last question for the segment. Do you take into account how many games played a player has when you're choosing your awards?
When I choose my awards, which has nothing to do with the FPF executives actually handing out the awards, it should absolutely be taken into account. FPF executives do their best to take care of that as well. But it is something that is food for thought. Usually you'll see, if anything, it'll come down to someone who has one game played or less. Usually if they're out of the running by 3 or 4 games, it's much, much harder.
Well, that's the scenario here. So you got like Liam Mahoney in Division 1, Pat Jerome, who's missed a game, and he can basically get wide receiver, he can get DB of the year, he can get two-way, and he's missed a game. And when it comes down to, let's say, 2 receivers and one has two more touchdowns and a little bit less yards, but he missed a game, I mean, who are you to say what he would have done in that one game? That's what it comes down to, basically.
So I would say mathematically, all you have to do is average it out of 9 games instead of out of 10.
So you would average it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he's probably not going to be playoff eligible either, but someone like Sam Nadeau-Putz, 6 touchdowns in only 3 games. He hasn't played any more than that, but in those 3 games, he's garnered 6 touchdowns. He's definitely not going to be considered for receiver of the year, but had he played, it would have been a possibility.
He can't even because he plays offense in Division 1. Okay.
No, that's what I mean, in Division 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Sorry. So this next segment is real rapid. So yes or no, real quick. Don't think. I'm gonna just say something. You say yes or no.
Okay.
D-boys, do they still have a chance?
Yes.
Rainmakers are slowly making the bed they always lie in.
Yes.
Can Patrick Jerome win every award in Division 1?
No.
If you're hashtag no regard, are you calling Hallowack and apologizing?
I would.
Are you the type of guy to watch a bunch of like countless episodes of a show that you love and lose precious sleep over?
Yes. Who doesn't?
After season 3.
Finest will finish finish undefeated?
I don't know. It's
yes or no?
No.
Perfect. Is Pascal Murray the happiest and most positive quarterback in Division 2?
Without a doubt.
Will Charles Sinot get snubbed of wide receiver award because he missed a game?
Unfortunately, yes.
Is Eagle horrible at keeping a tight ship here?
No, I think it falls on all of us.
All right, that's it for that segment. Now choose between 2 people. You or Mo?
Me.
Agreed.
A bar or a club?
Bar.
Rajdi or Marco?
Rajdi.
Aked or Patrick Jerome?
Aked.
Maxime Giroux or Jonathan Grizzly?
Maxime Giroux.
The Nadeau-Putz bros or the Taylor bros?
I'm tempted to go Nadeau-Putz bros because of quarterback.
Fake kick and punch. Like if I give you a fake kick and you drop your guard and then I knock you out, or fake punch and kick.
Fake punch and kick.
Yeah, but what is the kick gonna accomplish?
Depends where you're kicking.
I've only seen like one sweep kick where the guy just and then he ends up flat in his face. But the fake kick and punch is 100%.
The force of someone's heel to your kneecap, that's over.
A heel, so you gotta like. I'm taking like a fake punch.
We'll demonstrate this after. And
disclaimer: we do not support violence.
Yeah, we do not condone violence. We're talking in hypothetical.
I'm talking inside an MMA ring. You got gloves on. Both people signed waivers. Okay, TMT or Shakaluins?
TMT.
Love it. Smarties or Skittles?
Smarties.
Nicola Chantomo or Jordan Panetta?
Panetta.
Done.
So we're going to take a quick break. Everything's going to come back on me. For those of you sick of me answering questions, we'll put the onus back on Vince Nardone.
And
we will talk some flag.
Calling the Audible has been brought to you by the English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for CEGEP or vocational studies from the comfort of your own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanted.ca for more details.
And we're back. I know we touched upon playoffs a little bit, but for those of you watching, you're actually in for a treat because we do have the tables of playoff eligibility right now. Going into Division 1, if you want to look at your screen, if you're not streaming this on a podcast. Right now, Conference A, Division 1, Flag Molissac in first, 10 points, 5 wins, locked in mathematically. Rainmakers in second, 6 points, 3 wins. Demons, 4 points, 2 wins. Express on the bubble, 2 points, 1 win. Conference B, Montreal's Finest, D-Boys, DK, all 3 are locked in. Basically, your Conference B is what you see. Terror Squad still on the bubble right now, 2 points, 1 win. Will need some help, and the crossover rule in effect to take over. Thoughts on this right now?
Well, my thought is I got to play D-Boys again this year. Other thought is Terror Squad needs to start winning some football games so they can get into the playoffs.
You there, Mike?
Wow. So nobody heard any of that? That's interesting. My first thought was that I got to play D-Boys again this year. My other thoughts were just a ramble. So basically, I got Rainmakers needing to win this week against Express, which is my game of the week in my article. Just read it when it comes out. But no, like Express lost to Rainmakers this year, and they lost by a 1-score game, basically. I feel like this is a trap game for Rainmakers, who is now on a 4-game losing streak. If Express can squeeze a win out of this and drop Rainmakers down to even a lower record, it's a free-for-all.
In Division 2, looking at it, basically everyone's locked in Conference B.
Yeah, I've never
if you
seen
weren't
something
listening
like
to the, but they can see it on the screen right now. Legends, CLR Forces have those bye weeks. FFF, Serve with Ice, Gladiator, Shacklaloins, all locked in. It'll just be shuffling of who ends up where. But Commission officially out, No Regard officially out, BC McGonagall's officially out. Conference A, Cold Fusion, Clockwork, both have those bye weeks. Wolverines, Chernobyl Circus, Wolfpack, and ONS in the 3, 4, 5, 6. TMT on the bubble, Usual Suspects, and Les Monsieur Chat both need help and prayers to get them in.
Yeah, well, Les Monsieur Chat need TMT to beat ONS, and then they need to beat TMT. And then, other than that, I think Wolfpack, Chernobyl, and Wolverine should be able to lock in their spots after this week. The Usual Suspect is going to be outside looking in, and then it's between TMT and ONS for me. That's it. And I've never seen everybody be locked in Conference B this early in the season.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good.
So we're gonna, since we are running a little bit long, let's get into our picks for the week.
Sure.
I can get just your input. We'll even touch upon all of them. Just a couple one-word, one-sentence or two-sentence recaps of what's going on so far. Looking at Division 1 right now, you have Rainmakers Express.
This is I already touched upon it before. I think Express is going to upset this one.
I'm still tempted to go with Rainmakers. I think that they're going to right the ship, and they've been playing still better than Express.
The pressure's on now. You're on a 4-game losing streak. You started 3-0, and now you're 3-4. Pressure is on, my friend.
Terror Squad DK.
Last time we played them, we beat them 46-7 or something like that. Have they changed anything to make that any different? I don't think so.
I'm tempted to go with DK as well. I think that the DK defensively are a little bit too much for Terror Squad to handle. D-Boys, Montreal's Finest. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
D-Boys are down 2 players. Montreal's Finest are without Kevin Wyeth. Odds are it will be Keyshawn Thompson throwing, though it's not 100%.
I feel like Kevin is gonna find a way to throw this game. He's not gonna not throw. He cares just as much as everybody else in this league about his perfect record that is on the line. He's gonna find a way to tape that thumb to his hand or put a little ruler on the side. He's gonna figure something out.
If there's anyone Kevin Weiss should be talking to about this, it is Roshdi Benablocator. Similar situation. Roshdi had a wrist injury 2 springs ago. Played with a soft cast on. Had to cradle the snap like this. I have a claw for an arm right now for those who aren't watching.
And Eagle's getting excited.
I really don't know what to think of this game.
It depends. I don't want to give my pick before I see who lines up. Before I see whether or not Kevin's going to try to throw.
So then give me 2 options. If Kevin plays and if Kevin does not play.
Oh, wow. Either way, Montreal's Finest.
Wow, okay.
So you didn't need to see who lines
Well, I mean, if Keyshawn throws, I don't know how good of a quarterback Keyshawn is, but defensively...
Keyshawn Thompson, last quarterback for the Shockers in Division A.
Okay, here's the deal. If Jamal Giddens doesn't show up for D-Boys, then Finest no matter who throws. If Jamal shows up for D-Boys, then D-Boys if Kevin doesn't throw for Montreal's Finest. But if Finest shows up with Kevin, then Finest all the way.
I think it has nothing to do with the receivers that show up.
I think
is
it
very
does.
quarterback central.
No,
right
because
now.
Jamal is a two-way stud. You need Jamal to make a
Correct.
difference. And if Kevin is off his game, I mean, Jamal would be the guy to go get that ball.
Last game, Flegmosak Demons. Demons who have been on the up and up, but Flegmosak have been doing very little wrong.
This should be a really, really good game. Demon needs to win. Flagmosak is really physical, and Demon can play that game. I still go towards Flagmosak.
I don't think Demons have the capability to stop Flegmosak. We saw, despite having a rusher like Nick Arsnoham, who mustered 4 sacks, Alex Nadeau still ran for 2 touchdowns. There's really no one on the Demons who can contain Nadeau the way Arsnoham did.
Carmen's the kind of guy that neutralizes your snap because he gets rid of the ball so quickly that you don't want to lose one of your better defenders as a rusher.
No, but I mean on the other side of the fence, who's going to rush Alex Nadeau and be the difference maker? There's no one on the Demons who are capable of that.
No.
So I really see this one getting a little bit out of hand for FMS.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Division 2, Clockwork Wolverines.
Man, Wolverines under the radar, but should be on everybody's radar. They are currently sitting, I think, in 3rd place.
For those of you who haven't been paying attention throughout the season, Vince is on both sides of the fence right now.
They've proven me wrong all year long, and I've been picking for them as of late, and they've pulled through. But Clockwork is a tough team to go up against, and I'm gonna have to go with Clockwork.
I do agree with you. I've had a lot of faith in the Wolverines. I feel like I've had more faith than most. This is a very difficult matchup for them.
I still have faith in Wolverine. I just feel like Clockwork is a contender to win Division 2, and Wolverine is like the finals, the guy, the team who loses in the semifinals.
It's going to come down to time clock management. I think if the Wolverines can really slow down this game, frustrate Clockwork, they're going to have more of a chance, and that's where I would put my money. But in the end, Clockwork are just very, very top heavy.
Yeah.
ONS TMT.
This is a huge game for TMT. If Kevin Wyatt doesn't throw for ONS is drowning, my friend. They have no defense, and without Kevin, they have no offense. TMT.
I think, yes, so long as Kevin is completely written off of this game, I think it is bad news.
And I hope Chi
TMT.
shows up to throw the ball for TMT.
Chichi Bukasa?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say that name out loud. I'm sorry. Because what's going to happen is, it doesn't, no disrespect to Rashdi or whoever comes in to fill in for ONS, the chemistry will not be there. And TMT do not take their lack of seriousness for lack of skill, because with no chemistry, they will eat them alive. I think there's going to be a lot of interceptions generated in this game, and I would put my money on TMT as well.
Yeah.
Les Messieurs Wolfpack.
This is Les Messieurs' life is on the line here in this game. For that reason alone, I picked them.
Okay. On paper, I would pick Les Messieurs over Wolfpack.
On paper, I'd pick Wolfpack.
On paper, I would pick Les Messieurs. I think they're a better team from top to bottom. They just can't execute, and I've been burnt before by them, so I'm going to pick Wolfpack. Chernobyl Circus, Usual Suspects.
Chernobyl Circus.
I agree with that one. I think Usual Suspects are fading fast, and they don't have a lot of hope. FFF, Shakaloid. Shakaloid's coming off of a rough loss. FFF still without their quarterback.
Yeah, and Nathan is pulling through really, really well. Nathan beat Kevin Wyeth this weekend. He went up against his own quarterback and beat him. Not that he out-threw him, but he did just enough to beat him. Nathan is pulling through really, really well here in a rut. So I'm gonna go with FFF.
I'm gonna go with FFF too. I think when you put these two rosters together side by side, Shakaloids are not deep enough to contend with Flag Football Fantasy.
You just want the canoe buddy.
I do want a canoe
Yeah,
buddy.
you do want a canoe buddy.
Hashtag no regard, Cold Fusion.
Cold
Will
Fusion.
this be even close?
It could be close because Cold Fusion always finds a way to shoot themselves in the foot. But Cold Fusion by 2 scores.
Eagle trending tag. Bring back Holowak.
Bring back all the whack.
Hashtag it.
Hashtag it. CLR Forces served with ice. Very, very interesting game.
Well, Serve with Ice won last week with players that are not even on their team, so I hate that. Serge Pilon caught 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. He's not on that team.
Was it Serge or Alex?
22
on DK.
Wow,
Let's
great
see how your
question.
memory works.
I don't know.
Why not both?
I play with them. I don't know which one's which.
I'm
All I know is that
tempted to
Alex
say-
plays defense with me.
Okay. No, Serge plays defense
See?
with you.
So what have I just proven? That I don't know which one's which.
Amazing. I'm going to go with CLR Forces on this one.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
Wow.
that it's going to come down to a possession battle, and Fred Dupuis is the quarterback that's the one to get it done.
You
when
would
it's on the line.
mortgage your future with Fred? You would rather go with Fred than Jordan?
I would mortgage my future. I wouldn't bet any money on this game. But yeah.
All right.
I'm going to go with Fred just because I know Panetta isn't listening anyways, and it doesn't matter what I say.
Even if he is, I don't know if he can hear you.
Legends, BC, the McGonagalls. You can't pick your own game. I'll take care of it. BC, the McGonagalls have not mustered a win thus far. Legends are not going to take it easy on them. I think they're going to fine-tune what they need to for playoffs and really use this game as a confidence boost and springboard. Sorry, BC. Gladiator Commission, another game with similar circumstances.
Gladiator, again, Zan didn't even show up for the commission last week. Hopefully he'll show up this week, give him a better shot. And Adam Bailey, or not Adam Bailey, but Alex Hovington didn't show up either. So maybe they quit. Maybe they given up. I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't make it out. Gladiator.
So, is there anything you've learned from this week?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Correct. So it doesn't matter what we have to say at the end. It's all for nothing anyways.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back again.
I didn't want to get into it, but you went for it.
Yeah. You're Vince Nardone. I'm GM Clethres. That's the truth.